It was not a typical childhood for Nick Cassavetes. With filmmaker, actor, parents John Cassavetes and Gina Rowlands, his home was often filled with movie making, but rather than fall into the family trade, Cassavetes pursued basketball, sidelined by an injury. While at Syracuse, he became an actor, and in 1996, he made his directorial debut with Unhook the Stars. His second film, She's So Lovely, comes from a script by his father. It won Sean Penn a Best Actor award at Cannes and also starred Wright Penn and John Travolta. I'm pleased to have Nick Cassavetes here to talk about this film and lots of other things. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Charlie.
So you make your first movie when you got Gina Rowlands and Gerard Depardieu.
And Marissa Tomei.
And exactly. And then the second movie you have a guy named Travolta, a guy named Sean Penn, and someone named Wright Penn. That's not a bad combination to make your second movie.
No, I feel very fortunate to have them. Somebody talked them into it. They're tremendous actors, and the way that the film got together is I was shooting the last week of Unhook the Stars in San Francisco, and like any filmmaker, I guess anybody with a job that's going to end, you start worrying about your next job. And I came to my producers and I said, I had read She's So Lovely before we had started Unhook the Stars. I said, this is my film that I'd like to make next, which the producers kind of looked at me like, yeah, that's nice. And I decided to have a reading. We had the actors there, we had the hotel, and we had a day off. And I brought the producers up and gave them parts to read, and we all read the thing. And it was just a terrific reading. It showed that it was a really great script. It was
written by your father.
Written by my father, and the spirit of it was there. Maybe it needed some work in, how to actualize it, but they said that they would want to do the script. So
they being
the French producers, Hachette Premiere.
Right.
And so, knowing that I had at least their word saying that they were going to make this movie, I called Sean.
A friend?
I called Sean. Oh, we had known each other throughout the years. Now he's a friend, but we had known each other throughout the years. He'd wanted to make this movie a long time ago with John originally, and when that didn't work out and John couldn't make the film, after John died, he optioned the script for me for a couple of years, and he wanted to make the film. And now everybody was clamoring, I want to do the movie, I want to do the movie, and everybody and their brother wanted to make the movie because it was such an artistic piece. Actors love that. I said, no, I got to call Sean first, because out of respect to Sean, because he loved the part. And it was very easy. I called him up.
He said yes.
I called him up and said, I want to make this movie. He says, you got the money? I said, yeah. He said, really? I said, yeah. He goes, I'm in. I said, okay. He said, I want to make it with Robin. And I said, okay. And this was before Robin and Sean had married. And I met with Robin, and we laughed, and she said, I don't understand the script, and I said, I don't either. And we laughed some more.
Nor did I.
And I took a pass at the script, trying to modernize it and change all the things that I didn't understand about the script, because John wrote in such a shorthand that as a director, you need to be able to answer questions when somebody, what does this mean? You can't just... So I did a pass on it, came back. It seemed to be more understandable and clear, and Sean had worked on her, and she said, I want to do the movie, and I talked to Sean. I said, okay, I'm in. And we had Robin and we had Sean.
Okay, then Travolta.
And when John was not available technically at that time, he was doing a film with Roman Polanski at the time, and
which he subsequently backed out from,
I know they had some problems on the film, and it was a tough experience for John. And John works all the time. He came back to the United States, and of course, I was very sensitive to, his plight, and I slipped him a script immediately, to which he read in one day, and came back and said he loved the script.
How do you slip him a script?
Those are the secrets of the trade. Actually, my producer found his number, called his house, and said, I want to send you a script, and the assistant took the script, and John read it.
And said, I'm in.
He didn't say I was in, that he was in. He said that he was off on a tough project, and he didn't know, he wanted to only be involved with things that were going to be good experiences. So I met with him, and we fell in love with each other. And I said, why don't you come and read with Sean and Robin? And that way if you like what you hear, and if you guys work together, you'll do it. And if you don't, then you won't. And he came in, and it was a really great day. They read, and sparks were flying, and we're throwing ideas back and forth, and it was, and he decided to do it at that day.
Yeah. Budgeting.
Yes.
He's a big earner, Travolta.
Yes.
I mean, 15, 20 million or whatever.
He makes
it is.
more than the movie cost altogether.
So how do you handle that?
You can't.
I
There's
know.
nothing
So
that
what,
you can do.
You get him to...
John volunteered to take a cut and pay to do this film, to help us out, because he loved the part, like a great artist would do. And to which I'll always be indebted to him.
What is it you think they like? Is it characters that have what?
I think that John was always had liked my dad's work, and I think in this particular piece, he found his character Joey Giamatti to have a certain Cassavetes sensibility, John Cassavetes sensibility that he liked. I think all actors are attracted to their part.
You've mentioned your dad a number of times, and you don't say my dad, or you don't say dad, or you say John. Do you do the same with your mom? Do you call her Gina?
I do.
It's something that happened in the Cassavetes household?
I think so. I wouldn't be. I don't think there's any Freudian implications. John, I call him Dad, I call him John.
Yeah. Here is Robin Wright. She's so lovely. We'll see another clip with Sean and Harry Dean Stanton, who does a wonderful job in this film as well. Here it is.
No, I don't. Jesus, everybody's just doing the wrong thing. I don't drink, okay? And I don't smoke. Go away, okay? Goodbye.
Take note of the character actor there. His name is...
James Gandolfini.
And one of the best character actors.
He's a tremendous, tremendous actor. Takes a backseat to nobody.
Well, with all this talent on the set, what's your role?
Stay out of the way. No, I mean, as a director that has so many great actors, and if you look at Robin, and through her whole performance through the movie, she deserves a lot of recognition. She is sensational in the movie, and I really do hope that she gets the recognition she deserves. She's fabulous. I think that basically the job for me as a director, especially when you have a lot of talent, is that you set up a situation. I'm not a result-oriented director. I think that I believe in what I do with actors, and what we do on the set is we sit around and we talk about it. The moment, the scene, the through line of the movie, the whole piece, every single thing we talk about. And when we go to shoot something, I have an idea what it looks like. They have an idea what it looks like. But nobody really knows until you get there. And you come in, you take a look at it, let them fumble through it for a while, and a lot of times they come up with things that are better than what I have in my head. A lot of times they come up with things that are the same or not as good. But you must take advantage of their extreme talents as a director. And basically what I do is I talk to them, and I talk to them. I say, oh, this is what I was thinking about this, and I had an experience that was somewhat like this, and it kind of correlates in this particular way. And I talk, and I talk, and I talk to them until they say, shut up. I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone.
Did they ever say that?
Sure. They run screaming from me. I torture them. And
Just shut up and get out of here.
Get out. Stop it. You're driving me crazy. I'm pretty loosey-goosey on the set. And I like to torture them because I like them to know. My job is to let them know everything that they need to know about the scene, intellectually and with an emotional intelligence, too. And once they have that, you turn the camera on, and the dynamic that happens between the actors is the dynamic that I want. It doesn't have to be manipulated. It doesn't have to be, hey, if you said that faster, we'd get a better... That's not it. It creates a naturalist type of tone for your movie, and it places all the trust in your actors, which is where the trust should be.
All right, I want you to set up this scene and tell me what you told the actors before they did it. This is with Sean Penn at a bar going crazy, telling Harry Dean Stanton that love is so difficult. Can you remember?
Yeah, sure, I remember exactly. Sean has he's so facile with this type of material. He's in the zone. And he came in, and if you see the scene, as he enters, I wanted him to come and sit down next to Harry Dean Stanton, but he had an impulse to walk through the entire bar and come back around and shout, and And he did. It was, you know, that's great. He comes back down, and he really found the letting go of the sanity part. And I think that I mentioned to him something right before The Love is Not Difficult, that everything he said had to refer to her. So it wasn't enough for him to say, you know, it's like fog, it's like kissing, it's like this, it's like that. It was her. She was betraying him. She was betraying him. She was betraying him. And I think that was something Sean connected to very acutely. And are we going to see a clip?
Roll
and
tape.
the result is what you see.
There's no way into love. Cigarettes, you smoke them, you put them out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Now the
Oh,
monkeys
great.
are in the trees. You're in uniform. I respect the military. Soldiers, 1, 2, 1, 2. I have a gun. You have guns. Fair. To draw, we count 3. 1, 2.
Ooh. Ooh. There's your movie.
I'm telling you, if he's not the greatest actor in America, I don't know who is.
Is that right?
I think he is. I mean, for his generation, certainly. He's a real pleasure to direct.
And Travolta?
Travolta he's so much fun that you can't believe it. He comes onto the set and he entertains everybody. He comes in and he does the scene, and I was a victim of this. I say, let's do it again. And when you see what he does, you sometimes don't even see what he does when you're watching him. And you get onto film, and he works on levels of emotional connectedness that are both very sharp and violent, but also very human. He's terrific.
It's the best second act, I think Janet Maslin said this, the best second act in the history of a film career.
I don't disagree with her.
You know, and he's on a roll. Everything he seems to touch.
He's remarkably at ease with his humanness and his feelings. The hardest thing in the world to do on film, in life, and anywhere is to be open. It's just to leave yourself bare and to be open. And John does it with remarkable alacrity. He also is, you would think that the number of films that he does and the amount of media attention would diminish his enthusiasm and somehow affect him negatively, but he's about the most well-equipped person I've ever seen.
Well-equipped meaning?
Well-equipped to handle all the attention.
Stuff. Yeah. Take a look at this actor. Roll tape. Here it is.
The face. What?
Now, why did you do this?
This is from Face Off, obviously.
Right.
It was. This was
a hit this summer.
Yeah, it was. John Woo asked me if I would do this part, and it was a very small thing. I thought it was a cameo type of deal, and I just, out of respect for John Woo, I love his movies. I said sure, and I known Nick for a while, and with Nick you have to be really prepared because you never really know what he's going to do. In this particular scene, I think his lines were something like, I say something remarkable like, what do you want to do? You want to get out of the country? And what do you want to do? And he says, no, I want to take care of John Travolta. And the line was, I want him to lose face, literally. Cut. He comes, he says, I want him, tiny surgery, his face off. And being a very grounded actor who knows how to stay in the moment, all my subtext was, he just said the title of the movie. And he said it again, Face Off. I thought, well, if he's going to say it, I'm going to say it. So we went back and forth about 20 times saying Face Off, Face Off, Face Off. And John liked it, so he loved it.
Your dad. What is it that makes him so revered, in your words, as an American filmmaker?
Well, I think it's more than one reason. I would say that Dad, John, was he was not concerned with the vanity of film. He only was concerned with people's problems and people's effort to communicate and to connect and to have love with one another. And a lot of times, that doesn't fit into a format which is easily recognizable by an audience. And if he wasn't the first, he certainly was one of the first people to say, I don't care. I'm not interested in anything else. I'm only interested in revealing the truths about people which were important to him. It's a strange thing. As a filmmaker, sometimes you feel like your greatest responsibility is what is going on in the linear nature of the story. You know, I come in, I say X, Y, Z, and you say X, Y, Z. But really, in a more important sense, your duty as a filmmaker, the world is so many things that you say, the world is this, but yet I'm not really interested in that, and you throw that out. And the world is this, but I'm not interested in sarcasm. The world is, I'm not interested in cruelty. I'm not interested in blowing up. I'm not interested until you are left with exactly what you're interested in the world. And so, yes, you're always going to have the XYZ, and you're going to say the XYZ, but you set it in a world which is something where you're able to say, this is what I think the world is. And I think the world for John was about people who were desperately trying to connect and love one another, and with the terrible, also the terrible truth that it could never happen. You can never communicate purely. And I think that a lot of people responded to that because he just said, I'm not interested in anything else, and I don't care if you like my movie or not. Yeah. And for those people that like those type of films, he's their man.
In some ways, the father of independent filmmaking.
I think that a lot of people feel that.
Yeah. Much success with She's So Lovely.
Thank you very much.
Which started off as She's the Lovely?
The Lovely, yes.
Cole Porter?
It's The Lovely is a Cole Porter song, but we sent it to the Cole Porter estate for clearance of the title, and apparently they didn't like our characters. They were a little bit too...
Not Cole Porter.
They weren't Cole Porter-style characters.
Nick Cassavetes, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, Charlie.
Great to have
you. Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.